right, from Macomb City Hall, Macomb, Illinois, this is Macomb Mayor Mike Inman. It's the last day of September 2020, and coming to you from City Hall with the latest update on the COVID-19 pandemic as it relates to Macomb and McDonough County. The latest information from the McDonough County Health Department just about an hour ago. A total of 496 confirmed cases in McDonough County since the onset of the pandemic. Of those, there are 46 active cases as of today. 434 people recovered, and then as we've reported in the past, 16 people have lost their lives to COVID-19. Our current positivity rating is in the mid it's about 5.5%. It's up just a bit. And the overwhelming percentage of the total number of cases, the confirmed cases anyway, are in people in the community, and again, both Macomb and all of McDonough County, that are age 40 or under. So we're working closely with the community, as we mentioned last time. Some of the mitigating orders we put into place seem to be working. For example, today there were only 3 additional cases. And again, we know that this is a higher number than when we were together last. We're just under 500 at 496. So again, we would remind you the forever got to do it's only way to mitigate right now is social distancing, wash your hands, and then make sure that you're wearing your face covering. So we also want to share some guidance with you today that was released this morning from the Illinois Department of Public Health regarding Halloween. We've been getting a lot of inquiries here at City Hall. Some of the aldermen have been getting inquiries, so we want to share what was released today from the Illinois Department of Public Health. First and foremost, Halloween will go on as we would come to expect. But with some guidance from the Illinois Department of Public Health, it should help it make it much safer for those who want to participate. So trick-or-treating, the traditional trick-or-treating, the guidance indicates that those, including those passing out candy, so if you're going to be at your home and going to have trick-or-treaters coming to your house, should maintain a 6-foot social distance, and everyone should be wearing proper face covering. So as they come to your door, you should have your mask on, they should have masks on, and not just their costume masks. So that's kind of important as you get your young people ready for trick-or-treating. Customarily, they wear masks, and almost without exception, those masks that come with costumes are not the type of face coverings that would limit the exposure to COVID. So somehow be creative, and face mask, whatever that may be, whether it's a procedural mask or a store-bought mask, whatever you're providing for your family. Maybe you want to incorporate that in the overall costume, but whatever, you know, the Freddy Krueger or the Halloween mask that you would normally see, that's not sufficient enough to be a barrier. So they should either wear face covering under that, or if it impedes their ability to breathe, dispense with the costume mask and incorporate a face covering that is suitable as part of their overall costume. And you may even want to consider leaving individually wrapped candy spaced apart at a table in your driveway or in front of your walkway, along the sidewalk, or in an outdoor space where at least 6 feet of distance can be maintained. Again, just common sense, still allowing the trick-or-treating to proceed. And then those of you that will be trick-or-treating, you should limit it to your immediate household. I know that at our house we traditionally see maybe groups of moms and dads and kids traveling together from different households. So this year, maybe think about that, doing that a little differently. You've maybe heard people talk about your COVID bubble or other types of. We mentioned it early in the pandemic. You should be limiting your exposure to people within your household. So again, same concept here. So that if you're a parent, you should be taking just your children. Or those young ones in your family, whether they're children or grandchildren or whatever the case may be. Your household should be traveling, trick-or-treating as a unit together. Commingling of households is not recommended. And of course, you should always take the candy that you've collected and wash your hands before you eat the candy. And then they're also suggesting as possible alternatives to traditional trick-or-treating if you're still concerned about the possibility of some negative outcomes there as it relates to COVID, that you may consider setting up trick-or-treating in a large parking lot or other outdoor setting where tables with individually wrapped candy spaced apart, where participants with parents or guardians can pass the setup and still maintain 6 feet of different distance and wearing face masks and coverage. So, and maybe even suggest reserving a time slot for individuals so that everybody doesn't show up at once. So kind of the concept of trunk or treating that's been kind of becoming more prevalent in our community over the last couple of years, but with social distancing incorporated, obviously face coverings incorporated, and then to prevent, you know, stacking up of parents with children wanting to trick or treat, stacking up behind each vehicle in what might create a social distance issue, maybe consider spreading out the times over a larger time frame. Now, a couple of things that are not allowed would be Halloween haunted houses. They're not currently allowed under the Phase 4 of the Restore Illinois plan. So an alternative to that might be consider an open air space, one-way haunted forests or haunted walks where 6 feet of distance can be maintained. Even though, again, even though there's a prohibition on one form, there's options that you can employ to have a similar effect. And then, of course, anyone contemplating adult costume parties or social gatherings or Halloween parties at bars are reminded of the occupancy ratings that are in place through the Restore Illinois plan, and follow the social distancing gathering tips that are available on the IDPH website. Pumpkin patches and orchards are allowed. They're encouraging hand sanitizing before handling any pumpkins, apples, or other produce. And then, of course, the use of face coverings and social distancing should be enforced. And if you're planning a hay rack ride, that's still allowed, again, but incorporating the social distancing guidelines that we've talked about. For example, not to exceed 50% capacity of the vehicle you're riding in, and which still allows participants to be 6 feet apart, and wearing face coverings. And then again, you should limit members of the same household at the same time. Again, that's not unreasonable, it doesn't seem like. It just may be a little more complicated than we're used to, but it still allows for all those activities to occur in some form or another, so we're encouraged by that. This information is available at the Illinois Department of Public Health's website, which would be available on the bottom of your screen now, and we'll get that information out on many of the social media platforms we have here at City Hall, and then we'll be reminding folks of that information over the course of the next several City Council meetings as we lead up just 1 month from now to Halloween. It's almost unbelievable that we're nearly through the entire year of 2020. So again, I think that's some good guidance. We appreciate the Illinois Department of Public Health and our local friends at the McDonough County Health Department for sharing that information to us in a timely manner today. Some other things we'd like you to be reminded of is that, again, we're on the precipice of entering into what would be the traditional flu season. And we would encourage those of you that have never contemplated getting a flu vaccination before, that this would be the year to do that. There are guidelines in place. You can consult the McDonough County Health Department for those guidelines. Their website is also available at the bottom of your screen now. And they would remind you that they will be offering community-wide flu shot clinics in the middle part of October. So look at their website for when those dates might be coming, and look forward to the opportunity to interact and get a flu shot through the health department. Or beginning next week, the McDonough District Hospital will be offering flu vaccinations at their drive-through tent located at the southeast corner of the campus at MDH. That information is at the bottom of your screen, including the hours and the dates of those flu shot clinics being available at MDH, again, starting the 5th of October. So a bit of, I'll say, encouraging news. We continue to monitor events here closely as it relates to COVID, and some encouraging signs that our efforts as a community are paying off. Again, not overwhelmingly happy that we have 500 confirmed cases, but we are thankful that so many of you are continuing to abide by the guidelines of social distancing, wear your face coverings, and wash your hands. So again, those are our primary tools of mitigating this virus. We're grateful for those of you that are participating and being socially conscious and concerned about doing your best, our best, to minimize the spread here. We continue to work closely with our other partners in the community, including the administration at Western Illinois University, the McDonough County Health Department, McDonough District Hospital, and our friends at ESDA, the Emergency Services and Disaster Agency, as we continue to keep tabs on COVID-19 as it relates to Macomb, McDonough County. So until we meet again, thank you.